Welcome to Rapportkommentarer Direkt. In the studio today I have the CEO of Gabather. His name is Michael Robin Witt. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's start with the numbers. The quarter resulted in minus 2.7 million. If we compare this to 1 year ago, it was almost double that, 5.2 million. Can you walk me through what's changed in the company?
Well, the organization is exactly the same, so there's been no change there. And it has been operational costs that were different exactly 1 year ago in the quarter 2018, which we didn't have in this quarter 2019.
All right. Now, during this quarter, or the beginning of last quarter as well, you issued new shares and received a capital injection of almost 50 million. How long will that last?
Well, we aim to get this to fund the company for at least 2 years. And most of this will be used for getting the GT002 clinical trials through. And at the same time, we always look for soft money, non-dilutive funds from EU, other places.
Do you have any projections of how much soft money you can receive?
Well, there's anything between 10, 20, 25 million, if you're lucky. But we will pursue this very intensively next year.
Now walk me through the most significant events of the third quarter.
Number one was, of course, the successful new emission of shares. We have a war chest now. We can go on with our project, march on. Number two was presenting of our data in the American Society for Neurosciences. I had a poster there, very well received, very big interest, both from academia and groups. And just last week I was in Hamburg at the Bio-Euro partnering meeting, which is mainly industrial partners. And was busy, very busy. Is
that your focus now, marketing, meeting
clients?
Yeah,
we're starting now. I mean, the idea is, of course, to, within these 2 years I mentioned, where we have the funding, to find a partner for GT002. So we can drive the project as far as we can with this funding. So we have to start now. This is a long process. It takes a while. So what I did now was actually put Gabather on the radar of all the big players, which were the potential partners. And they start tracking us now. We started in Vienna in March. Now we sort of re-establish contact, and the interest gets bigger and bigger because we got clinical data now. Okay,
so you wrote in the report that you noticed a significant increased interest from international players. Can you tell me what kind of companies are they?
Well, they're all the big major pharma. There are many, interestingly, many from Asia, in particular China, which are interested in non-generic projects like ours, which is very nice. And the way I noticed is that, you know, when I went to the meeting in March, I had to look for their contacts and ask for requests for meetings. This time, they requested me to come to their meetings.
Oh, you're a celebrity then?
No, but you give a Gabather like a company description, and then you get invited and requested for meeting and present the GT002 project Gabather. And so that's a big change I've noticed.
So what would you prefer? Would you prefer that you partner with an Asian company or an American company?
Oh, we are totally flexible on that. That depends on the conditions. Asia would be, for example, that you do a regional deal. You de-risk the project by working only in certain Asian countries. But there are many possibilities there. We can be very flexible. And we can be flexible because we got the funding now. So we are, we can stand on our own feet.
Yeah, the war chest, as you call it.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go back to the clinic, the drug trial, the GT002. When we talked about it last, when we met in late August, you told me that you're aiming to start the study early next year. Is that still the plan?
Absolutely, that plan is unchanged. We weren't quite sure how to design it. It also depended on how well the new emission of shares would go, to how big the plants are. But the timing is in place at the beginning of next year, and yeah, we stand by that.
So what's left to do before you can start it?
What you have to do is to find finalize with the CRO to run the clinical trials, and then start the clinical trials.
Okay, is there anything that can go wrong from now to then?
I know I shouldn't say this, but nothing can go wrong. We got the funding, we got the partners identified, we got the plan for the clinical trial. So it's an administrative exercise. The reason why we did so much is because this clinical trial is extremely important. So we planned and planned and planned again, and you can become more and more cost effective actually.
So if you walk me through from now until next time when we meet after Q4, are there any triggers? What triggers do you see in the near future?
In the near future, I see that we sign the contract for starting the clinical trial, and they actually start taking in the healthy volunteers for the first part of the clinical trial.
All right. Michael, thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you. Cheers.